Hi, I'm Alexander from René of Paris. Today I'm going to do a little bit of talking, a little bit of styling, and I'm going to introduce one of my favourite wigs that I absolutely love in the Amore Collection, this human hair heroine. Yep, you've got it, it's Darra in the Amore Collection. I love this. I love it for so many reasons. The hair quality is just absolutely delicious. It's amazing. Okay, the actual wig itself, it could be worn for so many reasons, you know, fashion reasons, can be worn for medical reasons, can be worn for a whole host of different reasons, just for dressing. It looks amazing. It's such a great quality piece. So I've just taken Darra out of the box. This is how she comes out the box, so pretty smooth. But human hair, as you know, ladies and gentlemen, human hair always needs a bit of work. Like for instance, we have the lace here, not a really big lace, about so much. That will need to be taken down by a wig professional, cut across potentially, cut to your liking, or you could tuck it underneath and tuck it out the way, but that wants to be done by a licensed professional. So what do I love about this kind of curl pattern? Well, there isn't a curl pattern. So I'm going to put you one in. So that is what I'm going to love. I'm going to love this. I'm going to put some in. I'm going to give it a bit of a tongue, and I'm going to give it a very, very kind of fashionable, but almost like a beachy look. So ahead of time, I just heated up a thermal tool. Okay, and if you can see what I'm doing here, look, I'm actually holding those ends straight. You see? So I'm just curling that middle barrel. Then we leave that like that. Okay? So if you'd like to join me, ladies and gentlemen, on this styling journey, be my guest and let's come through and let's talk about what we're going to do. So you can do different things when you are curling hair. Okay? Now, like I said, I want something very free and very beachy. So I'm taking big sections. Okay? Now, if I wanted this to be more contrived, a little bit more styled, I'd take smaller sections, but I really want to give that undone editorial hair look, that very kind of fashion, session stuff. And, this is what we do in the world of session, like in, Vogue magazine, all of this kind of stuff. When we work on magazines and shoots and different things like this, the hair doesn't necessarily want to look like hair competition hair. It wants to look like really, really cool fashion hair. And a lot of that is achieved with wigs. Our wigs have been featured all over the world in various TV shows and movies for that exact reason. So natural. So you see those straight ends, leaving those out. Now I'm getting to an area where I need some more hair. So when I say more hair, the hair is getting thicker. So I'm gonna have to take like smaller sections around the back. So because there's more hair there. So remember, when you've got your hair like this, heating up over a barrel, I've left this on the barrel for a while, right? The reason is because I have more hair to get through. So the longer the barrel is on there, the longer it'll take for the hair to penetrate through that hair shaft and go through. So the longer you leave the hair wrapped on the barrel, the more intense a curl you will get. So I'm just going to wrap this curl the opposite way. Now, I'm all for wrapping curls in the same direction, and I'm all about wrapping them in different directions, just so you know the different effect that'll give. So in the same direction, you can get a very nice S bend. So like a Hollywood kind of Hollywood wave. In different directions, you'll get more of a beachy kind of finish. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm coming to my final section, and my final section, I probably have in here 3, maybe 2 barrels to wand. So, as you can see, what I've been doing to give it a more fashion effect on the curl is I've been look, watch this again, wrap that, look, and again, and see how I'm leaving that nice straight end that I'm holding up there with my finger? Okay, then what I do is I tilt the barrel, let gravity do the work. You know, don't have to work too hard when you're curling hair. Just let gravity do the work, let that fall off the wand itself. Now this one, actually, yeah, I can probably do it in 2 actually. So just gonna take one nice large section again, large section, like so. Look at those ends, look at those ends. There we go. Roll it up, roll it down, roll it up, roll it down. A little bit. And then I take that final section off. I'm just going to turn off my hot tool, and now I'm going to take the wig and have a little look at how she's sitting. So we've got all of these lovely, lovely straight ends. And what I'm going to do now is I've got a wide tooth prong comb, and I'm just going to comb this out and give that look at that effect. Ladies and gentlemen, this is proper fashion forward hair. So just to give that a really nice kind of comb through. And you can just see, let me take the mannequin off the head, and myself and Darra can sit closer together a little bit, and you can really see how that's coming off the head nicely. Look at that texture in the back, looks phenomenal. Really like the straighter ends. And you know, some of you might be there thinking, oh, I like that curl that Alexander's done, but I don't not that keen on those straight ends. Then don't do it if you don't like it. I mean, just tongue it just the same as I did and just wrap the end in. I like showing that little bit of difference. I think it gives more of a kind of fashion effect. But the same rule applies. You know, if you don't want that fashion effect and you want something a bit more, you know, just regular curly, but with that nice pretty edge, then put the ends in. But how lovely does that look? You know, what a great piece this is. This is Darra in the Amore Collection. And the thing is, she's a full hand-tied cap. This colour itself, this is highlighted brown roots, which is just, you know, very, very nice, very descriptive colour, you know. You know you're getting a highlighted brown root there. You know you're getting a brown. You know you've got that soft, lovely highlight. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. It's almost got a bit of a modern, hippie kind of vibe, hasn't it? You know? I think this is probably what I would be saying it has Coachella kind of vibes, you know, we've got music festival vibes, the summer is round the corner, loving that. So, what do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Do you like this form of curl? And do you like Darra? And, you know, do you like this colour? Tell us what you think, leave us some comments. I'm Alexander, this is the René of Paris channel. You've been tuning in with myself and Darra doing some fashion beach curls. See you next time, guys. Thank you.